Hi, I'm Tasha from One Big Happy Life on behalf of the Financial Diet, and this is the Lifestyle Fix brought to you by Skillshare. For many people, the kitchen is one of the most important places in their homes. You can spend a lot of time working in your kitchen, especially if you cook regularly for yourself, roommates, friends, or family. I found that one of the best ways to improve the quality of the time I spend in my kitchen and to minimize any potential frustration while I'm there is to make sure that my kitchen is organized. So today I'm going to walk you through 8 things that you should purge from your kitchen right now in order to make better use of your space and reduce your kitchen-related stress. Number 1, subpar food storage containers. Saving plastic containers whenever possible in order to reuse them for storing leftovers or taking food to school or work is a common way to reuse plastic containers, especially when you're already trying to be frugal and reduce waste. That also means that you can end up with a cupboard full of mismatched Tupperware and old yogurt containers, and it won't take long before trying to find a lid that matches the container turns into a scavenger hunt that requires pulling half of the contents out of the cupboard in order to find a matching pair. Save yourself the time and frustration by going through your collection of food storage containers and recycling the ones that no longer have lids, that are damaged, or that are so discolored that you never use them because they look gross. You can even expand this purge to containers that are in such uncommon sizes that you simply don't use them often enough to justify keeping them. This will cut down on your clutter significantly, and that's a great way to feel more organized and in control of your kitchen. Number 2, infrequently used entertaining items. If you like to host or have family over for holidays, chances are that you have quite the collection of nice serveware for parties or other events. Trays and platters, serving bowls, dips and condiment servers, beverage dispensers, champagne flutes or extra wine glasses, and so on. These items are great to have, but they can also be bulky, difficult to store, and take up a lot of valuable, easily accessible cupboard space in your kitchen. Unless you're hosting large groups on a regular basis, it might be a better use of your existing kitchen space to move all of that party-only serveware to another part of your house, like a closet or a storage shelf. Then you can pull the serveware out and wash it when you need it for an event, and still make the best use of your kitchen's real estate by prioritizing the items that you use in your day-to-day life. Number 3, old herbs and spices. Have you ever bought or been gifted a spice rack and then just hung on to those jars of herbs and spices that you rarely or never actually use? Be honest with yourself. When was the last time you went through your collection of ground herbs and spices and weeded out the ones that were past their peak? According to McCormick, herbs and spices don't go bad in the sense that they'll make you sick if you eat them, but they do wind up losing flavor and color over time, which will affect the taste and even the look of your food. If you have to add extra amounts of spices to make your food taste like it should, or if the spices have lost a lot of their scent, or if their colors have faded significantly, it's time to get rid of your old spices and buy new ones. As a general rule, whole spices can last between 3 and 4 years, while ground spices are probably good for 2 to 3 years. Leafy herbs need to be replaced every 1 to 3 years, depending on the type, and seasoning blends are generally only good for up to 2 years. Getting rid of your old herbs and spices once they're past their best by date or have declined in strength is a quick way to improve the flavor and quality of your food, and in turn, makes the time that you're spending cooking in the kitchen feel more worthwhile. Number 4, expired food or food you just don't eat. Once you've sorted through your dried herbs and spices, you need to open up your fridge and take a good look at the condiments and sauces in the door or that are shoved towards the back of the fridge. More than once, I've been in the middle of cooking only to realize that one of the ingredients I needed expired several months ago, and then I ended up having to make some hasty substitutions with mixed results. It's easy to lose track of how old your condiments and sauces are, especially if you don't use all of them regularly or can't get through a bottle fast enough. So take some time to go through them and get rid of everything that has gone bad or that's significantly past its best by date. You should also do a quick sweep of your pantry and cupboards for non-perishable food that you're holding on to that you simply don't eat. Maybe you tried a new brand of something that was on sale and it turned out you didn't like it as much as what you'd normally get. Or perhaps you accidentally bought too much of an ingredient for a dish that you don't make that often. So long as the food is still good and hasn't been opened, consider dropping it off at a community food drive instead of just letting it sit in your kitchen until it's expired and of no use to anyone. Number 5, excessive duplicates. It's really easy to acquire an excessive amount of kitchen equipment, especially if your friends and family know that you love to cook. But unless your household has dietary or religious restrictions that require you to maintain separate sets of kitchen items, chances are you may also have far more wooden spoons that you're actually going to need or use. One of the fastest ways to free up space in your kitchen if it's starting to feel cramped and disorganized is to weed out any unnecessary excessive duplicates. There isn't a magic number for the right amount of mugs in your kitchen collection, but chances are you do have some favorites, whether it's because one is the perfect size for tea or because another is a souvenir from one of your vacations. Keep the things that you love or use the most, then take some time to consider if you really need to keep the ones that are left over. Kitchen items that are in good condition are perfect to bag up and donate or put out for your next yard sale. That way, it's easy to get them in the hands of someone else who will use and appreciate them more than you. Number 6, specialty tools that you don't use. Specialty kitchen tools can be extremely helpful for people with disabilities or mobility issues, or for people who frequently eat the food that the tools are used to prepare. There's a pretty good chance you've managed to acquire some of those tools over the course of your life, but there's also a chance that you don't actually use them anymore and have shoved them in a drawer somewhere to forget about them. If you reach for your strawberry stem remover every time you have strawberries, that's great. Go ahead and keep that tool because it clearly adds value and convenience to your life. But if you're just as likely to reach for a regular knife as your avocado slicer or pineapple corer, it's probably time to get rid of those tools, especially since the number of other foods that they can be used on is limited. If you went through a mini tart phase a few years ago but never make them anymore, consider donating some or even all of your mini tart pan collection. The decision of which specialty tools to keep in your kitchen and which to purge should be based on how much space you have available, how frequently you use the items, and how much of a pain it would be to replace them down the line. Do what's best for you and your kitchen. Number 7, damaged dishes. I understand the impulse to hang on to chipped or scratched dishes, especially if the damage is minor or if the dish is part of a set. It's easy to tell yourself that it could still be useful in a pinch, and that's probably true. But this is another part of taking control of your kitchen, where your best strategy is to be honest about how often you actually use the item in question. If you always pass over the damaged dish when it ends up at the top of your stack, or only use it reluctantly, then it's probably time to say goodbye. And if it turns out that you really do need a replacement for that damaged dish because of your family size or general dishwashing schedule, then you've already made room for a nice whole piece that you will happily use rather than avoid. Number 8, things that just don't belong in the kitchen. Kitchens can be magnets for all sorts of household odds and ends since they're often in a central location in the home and they have plenty of surfaces to accidentally leave things on and drawers or cupboards to put things into and then forget about them. Does your kitchen have a junk drawer filled with too many pens, pencils, sticky notes, loose change, spare keys, batteries, tape, old recipe cards, an assortment of screws and nails, and so on? Take some time to do a thorough sweep of your kitchen and figure out where all of this miscellaneous stuff really should go. You don't want to just shift the clutter from one place of your house to another. You want to put everything into its proper place where it will be the most useful and where you can find it again when you need it. Maybe you do need to keep a couple pens and a set of sticky notes on the counter. That's great. Just make sure that everything else really belongs. After you've gone through your kitchen and eliminated these 8 categories, you're going to feel so much more organized. By purging your kitchen of the things you don't need, don't use, and can't use, you will be able to find your essential ingredients and tools that much faster, which will improve your day-to-day life. In fact, adding these kitchen purges to your quarterly or semi-yearly to-do lists will help your kitchen stay in top shape throughout the year and will improve your overall kitchen experience. Now that I've helped you figure out what you should purge from your kitchen today, let's talk about a great place to learn some new things, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, technology, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes on essential topics, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Looking to brush up on your lifestyle photography skills so you can deck out those empty walls of yours? Check out Mark-Marie Forsberg's class, Lifestyle Photography, Capturing Inspiring Visual Stories, where she teaches you how to capture stunning stories in a styled yet natural way. Click the link in the description box to join the millions of students already learning on Skillshare today and to take advantage of a special offer just for TFD viewers. Click the link in the description box to get 2 months of unlimited access to over 25,000 classes for free. Act now so you don't miss out and start learning today. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to tune in here every single Friday for another new episode of The Lifestyle Fix. See you next week. Bye.